Star Trek is back on TV and in a big way, thanks in no small part to Star Trek Discovery, the groundbreaking series that paved the way to bring the final frontier back into homes telling serialized stories on a regular basis. Joining us to celebrate Discovery's 5th and final season are its stars, Sonequa Martin-Green, Doug Jones, Wilson Cruz, and Anthony Rapp. Thank you all for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely. It's my pleasure. Star Trek Discovery was the show to bring Star Trek back to TV after the 12-year absence that followed Enterprise, now about to launch its 5th and final season. How do you start to say goodbye entering the final season of this show?
I think we start by saying thank you for the opportunity to lead this new Star Trek franchise. We're so grateful for the opportunity to have started this new generation of Star Trek, which has gone on to give birth to many more series. I think we're also still very grateful for the opportunity we've had to work together and meet each other and create this family that we've been able to create on set. And I think we start with gratitude.
So what could you tell us about what's to come for season 5? Is the end of the season premiere a good roadmap for what's ahead?
I mean, in terms of like the tone of the season, you know, the sense of a kind of quest adventure vibe, which is probably a little different than some of the other seasons we've had.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think, I don't know if this is necessarily told by the end of the first season, but you know, the nooks and crannies of this adventure take us into some really interesting questions and territories, which are very Star Trek. So it's able to bridge the gap of like the fun adventure without sacrificing the, you know, moral complexity of what Star Trek has always been about as well.
I mean, well, you're all original cast members. What does this mean to you? What is the legacy you think that Discovery will leave?
Well, you know, Star Trek has always been about representation in a big way, but I think that we took it to another level. And I think that really matters and has mattered to a lot of people. So I think that's one of the biggest stamps that we put on the universe. So yeah, that's one of them. And really also, you know, serialized storytelling. That there was a little bit of that in Deep Space Nine, but we took it to another level as well. You know, proving that Star Trek could be part of this era of peak TV, you know, of long form storytelling in this medium.
Discovery does feature a lot of firsts in, you know, a historically very progressive series. What does it mean to be Captain Burnham and what she represents?
It means so many things on so many levels. It means so much to me artistically. It means so much to me culturally. It means so much to me relationally. It means so much to me spiritually. And being able to do this, being able to be Captain Burnham as a Black woman, the first, and in this way, but then also being able to be a part of this whole, which Discovery is a first in a lot of ways within this franchise. It means a lot. It means more than I can say, literally.
It does take a certain kind of riz to have a relationship with a Vulcan, a high-ranking one at that. Are we going to see Saru's romance continue more this season?
Yeah, wait, did you say a certain amount of riz? Is that what the kids are calling it? I'll tell you what Michelle Paradise, our showrunner, told me at the beginning of filming of season 5. She lets all of us find out how much we want to know about the season. You want to give us the entire arc until the very end, or do I? I'm one of those actors who likes to know one episode at a time as it comes, just because I like to be surprised. But the one thing I asked her was, okay, this romance with Tarina, what? And she said, I think you'll be very pleased. And I can promise you now, after filming season 5, you too will be very pleased.
I'd like to talk about Stamets and Culber's relationship, which is another huge first for Star Trek. Their relationship and marriage is another thing we hadn't seen before Discovery, and they kind of adopted a child. So the child Adira is another kind of character even. So what does that mean to you, speaking to Wilson and Anthony?
Well, it was a long time coming. It was too long. They really did try to break down some of these barriers about queer representation back in Next Gen. But the powers that be said no. there was a lot more fear dictating these sorts of choices. So we were very fortunate that in the late teens and early 2020s that we had forces behind us saying yes and recognizing that representation matters and that it makes a difference and that it's important that the future reflects the way the world looks. And we were really lucky that we were given two wonderful characters to play, Wilson and I. And I think it was just the bonus that we knew each other before. We'd worked together years ago. We kind of have been walking this path alongside each other for all these years, and then to get to do this together is it's just such a gift and a bonus round thing, and it's changed our lives.
To give the fan base something that they've always wanted, and to be those characters means a lot.
What are your ideal endings for your characters? Do they get happy endings?
I feel a sense of a happy ending because, even just with these three, beautiful men sitting here, it's some of the best work I have ever seen in front of my face, all of us in this cast. And so it's been such a happy ending for me personally, being able to watch them and see their growth and see them pour their hearts and artistry into it, along with, like we said, our brilliant showrunner, Michelle Paradise, and our writers. There is a happy ending because you see these people settle into the heroes that they were always meant to be.
Star Trek has always looked forward to the future, to hopefully a better world that can be made when we focus and build instead of worrying about our differences. What kind of firsts would you like to see Trek handle next?
Yeah, we've done race and gender identity and sexual orientation and male female and those kinds of power dynamics. I'm not sure. What do you think? It's a good question.
Yes, we have covered so much, but I think what is incredibly relevant about the franchise is the need for connection. And in this moment, and where we are as a culture and politically, we couldn't need that lesson and that message more. So, I hope that Star Trek continues to inspire us to appreciate each other's differences, to reach out to each other, to build bridges and not walls.
That's really beautiful. Thank you, Wilson, and thank you all for joining me today to talk more about Star Trek Discovery, which will be premiering its 5th and final season soon.
Thank you.
I love y'all, and I love all it.
Oh, love you all too so much. Love.